Good afternoon, everybody. I just thought I'd start with a different view today, for a change, and with a nice surprise that my loofah has finally taken off and it is now drooping over there. So I'm going to have to find some way of helping it to clamber over something. But it's finally taken off, so we might actually get a loofah before the season is out. Even if I only get one with ripe seeds, that's fine, then I'll have some for next year. With the weather we had over the weekend, we finally got our thunderstorms and heavy rain. So there's obviously a bit of commotion here with all the tomatoes falling over. I put them at the back here to see if I could stop the wind getting to them, but they still fell over. They're surviving though, and hopefully they'll be a bit more sheltered in this little corner where I keep the compost and the wood and stuff. The wheelbarrow there with the sand that I took out from when we dug the pond space, well, I meant to cover that to stop the rain getting to it, but I didn't get to, and now it's a very heavy claggy mess in the wheelbarrow, which I'll have to tip out and get rid of somehow into other pots, because that wheelbarrow will not stand that amount of moisture. It's already getting holes in it. It'll become a flower pot when it does eventually get holes. Either that, or we can weld and mend patches into it, but it's not always going to work so well with the frame. But there was quite a bit of water saved, some still from the pond. The little pond's still doing okay, but needing a pump soon. Trying to save up for that to get it as soon as possible. The courgettes are doing fine. These ones appear to be yellow ones, whereas the other ones were green. It's a nice surprise. Everything else is okay. That acer has kind of toppled over a little in the wind. We finally have a little fig on the fig tree. That's the first one ever on this bush. It's now 2 years old and it's finally starting to give us a little fruit for next year now. Potatoes obviously doing really well. The yacon seems to be recovering from the chop back. There's new bracts growing just there where I cut it, and that one that was so leggy and hanging over is perked up now, and hopefully it will withstand any wind that comes. The birds have been spreading the edge of the bed, so somehow I'll have to try and contain that. Sweet potato doing really fine. Everything's doing okay. Some of the stuff like the comfrey is needing to be chopped and put into my comfrey feed bin, and I'll show you that next time. There's quite a few things I wanted to show you, but obviously things are a little bit hectic at the minute. Look at the Nepalese cabbage there, how that has taken off between the warm weather and then all the rain. Absolutely shot up and taking over the beds, so I'll have to harvest the lower leaves, even if I just use it for compost. And there are some flower spikes coming already actually, so it's kind of bolted quite early, but I'll still use some of the newer leaves. And the flowers are edible too, but very hot, so yeah, we'll see. And they'll still do something good in soups anyway, the leaves. So I might just dry some and keep them in that way. Most of the fruit have gone over now. The blueberry's almost completely gone, because what I didn't harvest, the birds are finally discovered and are getting rid of for me. Yeah, there's only a couple of blueberries left. There's still some black currants left actually, and I'm surprised at that. The marshmallow over there in the trays has survived the wind and the thunderstorms. That was incredible storms we had in the wind. Even the corn was almost knocked over horizontal in that wind, and it really worried me quite a bit when I saw it, but they've perked up, they've survived. Maybe planting them as close together as I did helped. The rain barrels, let me see if I can do this without dropping the phone, full, and they were practically empty. These two I filled from, that is full as well. and I've left a few inches more just in case I need some more. This one I've emptied to just under half. I've got no space left in the other rain barrels. But just over the weekend we've had so much rain that it's unbelievable in just 2 days, because I moved the small bin over here because the Slim Jim was full, and I moved this one over to take the water from that guttering there. And it was full to the brim this morning and overflowing. So I emptied that into one of the big ones by the shed because I didn't want to get rid of any water, make sure every single bucket I've got and tray is full of water, and anything excess then I'll let run down to the drains. But yeah, there's a load of water, so I didn't want to throw any more away because just in case the next few weeks bring us some more long dry weather and no rain, then I'll water from the Waterbutts. So I've left a little bit of space in case we get some more rain, but not too much so that we run out of water. Oh look, the bumblebees, even under the cover here, busy working away. See, there's still some blackcurrants there I can harvest. The birds seem to have left them alone this year. There's much sweeter things for them to focus on. The corn is growing nicely. Some of the tassels are starting to brown now, and when they go completely brown and dry, then they're ready, supposedly, to harvest. There are still some flowers opening, so hopefully there'll still be pollen to pollinate the other corn that hasn't yet been pollinated. Lots of tiny little beetles on there. Look, you see that one there? All sorts of little things. So let's hope it's not one of those that bore into the corn. But they've been around for a while, so we'll see. Hang on, we grab a few of these flowers and the little things, then drop them straight on there. They might do some good. The callaloo here, the amaranth, was totally blown over almost by the wind, and these were drooping, had fallen over, and so I just tied them in today, just to keep them up. I tied them all in, circled in with the canes, and I put this flower up against my arm today from this bit, and the end reached right up to my shoulder. That is how long this flower is. Absolutely amazing, beautiful, all those tassels. Wish I had the red one, that would be even more impressive, but that's beautiful anyway. Really love it. The yacon is happy even in the shade. It's very sheltered in there, so it seems to be doing fine. It's coming up nicely. That'll be as tall as the corn as well eventually, so not a problem. I've just harvested more beans off this plant today, a whole handful of just the two plants, and there's still more there I can get, but I will leave a few on there in the next couple of weeks. I'll make sure I leave at least 2 or 3 pods, so that if I get at least 3 more viable seeds at least, then I know I'll have more for the same amount next year. These ones appear so far to be nicer pods than the Cherokee Trail of Tears over there. Oh, look. Look at that, guys. Ladybird larvae. Our first ladybird larvae. We've seen no ladybirds for so long, and that's the first larvae. And let me see if I can get him there again. Look at that. That is a ladybird larvae. You do not want to get rid of them. They're not bad guys. They eat way more aphids than the adult ladybirds do. They're voracious. So do not ever get rid of them if you see them. Wonderful critters. Yeah, there you are. I'm happy. I've seen a ladybird larvae in my garden. Very happy now. Although there's not very many aphids left for it, I might have to put it where I know we do have some aphids. I'll see, get that in a bit if it's still there. What else is there? Still haven't emptied out the old pond, and the rain has started filling that again, so I'll have to deal with that soon. The buddleia over there, I looked out the window this morning and it was absolutely smothered in cabbage white butterflies. And look, a bumblebee. And who doesn't love the scent of this buddleia? I love buddleia. It is so beautifully scented. I'm happy I've got some in my garden. I know that it's a pest in a lot of people's eyes because it just isn't so invasive and it spreads like wildfire. Oh, but I love it. It feeds insects. It smells gorgeous. Looks beautiful. I mean, look at this one. And the seeds all came from the same packet. This 2 years ago, and it's finally flowering this year for the first time. Hang on. Lovely scent. Milder than the purple one, but still lovely. The yarrow still flowering. Those flowers have lasted a very long time. Very beautiful. And the smell, the scent on that is also still, I mean, and you can't even focus on all those tiny little flowers that make up one flower head. It's loads, hundreds and hundreds of little flowers that make up one head. Gorgeous. The goji berry, this one has shot up this year. It's just everywhere. So I had to tie it into those canes because that was flopping over in the weather. And the Jerusalem artichoke. And of course the beans I had to tie across to the frame because that was being blown over. So we've got some beans off them as well soon in the next couple of days. But they seem to be tougher and more stringy than the cobra one. So I'll see how we go. The cobra one has already given us quite a lot of beans. So we'll see. They might be alright. The kale are doing alright. The broccoli, the purple sprouting broccoli are surviving. Still okay. I'll have to tidy up some of the decaying leaves underneath just to make the slugs less interested in it. This passion fruit that I bought to replace the one that died last year has also jumped up and growing nicely, but I will have to get, just like the kiwis, I'm going to have to get it somewhere very sheltered for the winter. The pomegranate I'm really pleased about because I nearly killed it last year. I put it in a pot that I forgot to put holes in. It got so waterlogged that it looked like it was rotting, and I quickly put it in another pot with holes, left it under the cover, in the potting cover, and it's come back this year, and I'm really happy about that. I'm so relieved that it came back from the brink, so to speak. I've chopped down the tomatoes in 2 of the hanging baskets because it was just not going to survive. It was just so struggling. Even the nasturtiums in there need feeding. So they've been really struggling in this drought, but I will feed them, and you know, so I think even if I didn't have those wells in the bottom, they would have been dead long ago. But they've survived, and I'll just give them a boost of a feed. Maybe now that I've taken the tomatoes out, at least 2 of them, they'll strengthen up a little. I took the tomatoes out of these because they were looking really stressed, and I didn't want to keep them going stressed because that just encourages the blight. So yeah, onions ready to be platted. I had to watch another YouTube video today to remind me how to plat onions because I haven't done it for so many years. We haven't had this many onions in one go for years because even at the allotment they were always flopping. At the allotment we were susceptible to all the diseases that spread around the allotment with all the other allotmenteers. At least here at home I have some control over the conditions, and none of my neighbours grow vegetables, so for now I'm still fairly okay that way as far as diseases and things. So there's a lot of rust at the allotments and other pests that invaded onions and leeks and all sorts there. So this year we've got a good harvest because I'm growing from home, and it makes me feel even better that I've left the allotment. You're looking at my jars from all the herbs that I was drying here outside, and I finally got them properly dried. I finished them off in the dehydrator at a very, very low heat just to crisp them up dry, and I've put them in the jars. And as you can tell, for all the amount of herbs that were on those trays, you don't get a huge amount, so you do need a lot of herbs or successive harvests to dry to fill them. I mean, there is, which one is that? That's the oregano, strawberry leaves, lemon balm, that one is mint, chamomile, that one's feverfew, grape leaves, that one is the nasturtium and catnip. So I've got some stuff going. I got to wait until apparently the best time to harvest your herbs is after the morning dews have risen, before the heat of the day hits the plants and they lose their oils. So as long as it's not been raining through the day, if it's wet in the night and it's cooler, then I can harvest them as soon as the dew is lifted, but before the heat of the day comes. And that way at least you'll preserve a lot of the oils. There's obviously a lot more I'd like to share with you and talk about, but life is just so hectic, and I've just been painting a bit today as well. I didn't get to turn the compost because as I wanted to, it started raining. I thought, well, if it's raining, then I will get on with the painting. And as true as Bob, as soon as I've been painting and whatnot, then it stops raining. But the family have gone out for a little bit, so I grabbed the quiet time just to make a video, and then the rest of the craziness. So I would have taken you through the house, because there's some things in the house I wanted to share with you that I'd been doing to do with my zero waste and that journey, going back to more natural ways of doing things. And but I'm not showing you that house. It's terrible. It's a mess, which is you will be with little ones that have been in the house. That's just normal and it's okay, but it's just not that relaxing. I don't quite want to show you that amount of the chaos that happens occasionally. But the rain has stopped for a bit. Nature is reviving. The birds are singing again. There's even a bit of grass coming back slightly green. I still haven't spiked that lawn. I'll do that tomorrow morning if it's not raining, along with turning the compost, because that's gone cold now. I need to turn it again. There is obviously laundry hanging there, and the plants waiting to be dealt with. Oh, they look at me and I feel guilty when I look at it every day, and I think, I've not dealt with that yet. They're going to die before I get them sorted. However, as I've always said, my garden has to be resilient and cope with my neglect. So if it grows, great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And so far, things have been very kind to me and grown. There you go, everybody. I hope the rest of your day is lovely, not chaotic, full of the excitement of the autumn that will be looming soon. I don't want to wish summer away. I'm just saying nature is hinting that autumn will be here soon. So it's time to start making preparations for autumn. And I've been looking at what I need to get planted and sown ready for winter, so that I could have some vegetables through the winter. So yeah, I need to crack on with it. And my winter preparations, because some of the stuff that grow now won't be growing through the winter, so I'll have to do some preserving. I'll have to make and find the time to do that. There you go. But I'm happy that things are green, things are growing, and I can still every single day come out into the garden and get something to eat. Even if it's only one item, I can still come every day and get something to eat out of the garden. So that's a comfort and a relief to me. And I can see and hear the birds. I see the butterflies. I see all the insects. And I am satisfied that I'm a good part of the journey, and that I'm not doing too badly. as long as I have nature in my garden, it's still a place my family love to be, and we can still feed ourselves and nature, then I know I'm heading on in the right direction. So I guess, oh, there you go. Blackbird in the wheelbarrow. I'm sorry, but the sand is now a bit wet. The birds have been using that for a sand bath, a dust bath. Oh, the blackbirds found something to eat out of it, so there you go. Even that's still usable by nature. A wheelbarrow full of rather useless sand that has not got much organic matter in there. There you go. Alright, my lovelies. Have a good day. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.